Hello, it's Jack, and welcome back to my first review of Car Simulator 2021, the game itself and not just the demo. I reviewed the demo back in May when it came out. I've now had this game for some time. Well, when it came out, I think it was the 11th of August it came out. Been playing it pretty heavily to get my XP up and basically my levels, to get some cash in the bank so that I could open or at least unlock all of the special bits and pieces in this brand new release in 2021, basically to show you guys. I will go back and start the levels from the beginning and do some videos on those, just basically to show you what you start with, and this video is mainly to show you what you can aspire to and what you can get when you get the your levels up and you unlock all the good stuff on here. I'm not going to go over too much about the exterior. I'm not going to tell you too much about the graphics either, because I did that in the review of the demo. Needless to say, the graphics are absolutely fantastic. Look spectacular in my opinion. We'll go through some of the outhouses during this review, but without further ado, let's get into the garage. Now, just to state the obvious, I've got a couple of mods. So there's already mods available. This is the Volvo mod. Obviously I've got the Volvo 240 in here. As you can see here, it says here it is a mod. You need to go and subscribe to the brilliant guys that make these mods on Steam, and then you'll be able to find these cars in the barns, junkyards or auctions or wherever they're allowing them to be found. I've also got the two DLC packs. One is the Nissan pack and one is the electric car pack. So just so you know, if you see bits in here you think, oh well, my goodness, where they come from. Well, basically that's where they have come from the DLCs that I also purchased on Steam when they came out. Okay, now this is the whole kit and caboodle garage, so everything's unlocked at this level. So don't be disappointed when you start the game for the first time, which I will do a showcase video on when you first start the game for the first time at level 0, how big the garage is and what's locked and what's unlocked and all that stuff. But just so you're aware, everything's unlocked on this. One thing that's changed, I'm going to go through this garage, the workshop here, step by step. Try and keep it as quick as possible. I will, if I have the time, put in the details, the actual different areas I'm covering at the different time, not per second, but if at minute 2:30 or whatever, then maybe I'm starting the wheel balancing or whatever. So just so you can jump and skip through to the bits that you're most interesting, because I'm assuming most of you guys watching this video are going to be veterans of car mechanic anyway, and maybe you're watching this to see if it's worth buying, or if it's just another revamp, if you like, of the 2018. What I will say, it's definitely not a revamp. This has certainly got a lot of new gadgets, new stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but we'll go through that. Okay, first off the bat, you only get 2 lifters. You used to get 3 lifters at your top levels, now you only get 2. So did I say you used to get 3? Yeah, you used to get 3, now you get 2. Which, it's not too bad. I mean, you can live without it. And of course you've got extra parking space outside to have more cars anyway. Okay, so it's pretty much all the standard stuff. We've got the oil drain here, we've got the computer, we've got that radio that's so annoying somewhere over here. I turn it off. You guys know I'm not a big fan of the radio. Over in this corner we've got the engine crane. These are the toolboxes. As you know, you click on this and you can upgrade all your skills and everything. What they have done, actually, they've split it so you can upgrade your, like it says bonuses, let's call them skills, whatever. And then you've also got the upgrades to the actual different parts of the garage as well. Okay, but we'll come to that in a bit. There's a couple of these toolboxes littered around the workshop. So crane's over there. So right now there's nothing that's brand new. Here we have another toolbox, just in case you don't want to walk over to the other one. Here we have the car detailing, interior detailing kit. There's also another one of these in the car wash, but we'll come to that in a bit. Then we have the welder, which of course is wonderful, because we all like welding, don't we? And then we have the battery charger over here, and then we have the wheel balancing bay and wheel changing, whatever you want to call it, tire changer machine over here. So yeah, so right now there's kind of nothing new. Okay, so let's start first off the bat the major changes to the computer. I've got the tablet, but this is obviously the computer that you're going to come to if you haven't got the tablet, but I've got the tablet. Okay, so what's actually changed here? The main change is that it's a slightly different layout. We have the electronics section down here, so any electrical parts that you want to buy, you have basically got to come into here to get them. That includes spark plugs and leads, alternators, fuse boxes, which is also new, which we'll come to shortly. And as you can see, I've got all the electrical car gear down here, which you won't have unless you buy the DLC. Yeah, it's one of the things that kind of annoys me a little bit, that you're picking parts for the car, you come in here, pick all the normal engine parts, and this is pretty much the same up here as it was on the demo. And then if you want the electrical stuff, you've got to come down here and get the electrical stuff. Yeah, great. Anyway, tune up. Yeah, of course I've added some additional parts for tuning up, and it's more detailed, graphics are a lot better, but pretty much standard. There's a lot of stuff you still can't get on the tuning side. I would have thought they would have got a bit more balls out, to be fair, on the tuning. Maybe some bespoke stuff. It's not difficult to make an exhaust out of some piping, is it? Anyway, yeah, they haven't. Simple as. They've also got the body workstation, which now you can pick it by the car that you potentially have in the garage. This particular one isn't showing the Volvo, obviously. I don't know why it's not showing the Volvo. Is that because it's a mod? Anyway, let's not go into that. But generally, whichever car you've got in the garage, it will usually appear somewhere up here. So when you want to buy the body parts, and then you go into that car, and then you've got all the body parts listed, which is better than the old version because you had to search for that particular car part out of all the parts available. They've also got the body tuning, which from what I can gather, it's just this. They've got a lot of similar cars in there that you can buy body tuning parts. They're just more expensive and slightly maybe different detailed or different detailing. I don't know. I mean, they're a lot more expensive. I don't see the point. But anyway, if you want the car to look a bit different, I guess then you'd come here and yeah, get it from here rather than here. Not all cars are covered in the body tuning part, just so you know. Gearbox is pretty much the same. Add-on shop, yeah, nice touch. It's pretty cool actually. I hope they add a lot more to the add-ons. I hope it's not going to be a DLC. I hope it's going to be free content at some point, or at least a very, 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 very cheap DLC. If you remember some of the mods you could get back on 2018, they had specific police lights and stuff you could mount onto the car. So what they've given you the ability to do now is actually mount the add-ons from the shop, which is these are specific for the game. They're not modded. And to do that, basically, just to really quickly show you, when you come over here, you get to the car and you want to put a body part on. Is it this one? No, it's not. Sorry, it's not that one. It is. I'm still getting used to some of this, even though I've played it so much. Here we go. You see, you've got additional parts. So, just to give you a quick example, if you wanted to buy, where are we? Add-ons. If you wanted to buy, I don't know, let's say you wanted to put a roof rack on it. Let's just buy that roof rack, and then you come back over to this vehicle here, and then you can shove on a roof rack, additional parts. What? There are no bonus parts to install. Maybe it's because it's a modded car. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. Let's leave it there for now. You get the idea, okay? Well, should I research that, shouldn't I? Never mind, not to worry. Okay, so I think I've covered most of the stuff, the new stuff on the computer side. Obviously, this is for the community cars the mod cars that you can buy. For example, all the stuff here for the Volvo 240. I mean, so well detailed. Considering the game's only just come out and we've already got mods, it's amazing. I don't know how these guys have managed to do this so quickly, but I'm eternally grateful. I mean, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, thanks guys. Okay, what did we miss? Oh, let's go over to the wheel changing. Now, the change here, basically, there's a couple of things. One, when you do disassemble a tyre, you take the rim from the tyre itself, it's quicker. It's quicker by a few seconds, which makes it nice. Now, one of my gripes when I did the review on the demo was this wheel balancing. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'll just give you a quick whistle stop tour. So I've got a tyre ready to balance, so let's just try this. It's just taken off the Volvo, so it's absolutely knackered. Now, all you have to do here is use the A and D keys to basically align this here, the green with the yellow, press the space bar, and you either have to do it 2 or 3 times. This one you have to do 3 times. Now, I thought this was a lot of bollocks when I first saw this in the demo. I thought, you know, what a silly little game this is going to be. However, changed my mind on a couple of things, mainly because it's faster. Especially if you've only got two balances to do. It's a lot faster than the original wheel balancer. But one thing that you can't do is easily, because you have to interact with this now, you can't, what I used to do is, you know, start one of the wheel changes off here and building the tyre. As soon as that one's ready, start a new one, shove the other one on here, start the wheel balance, then backwards and forwards. That's making me dizzy, that, crikey. You can't do that now. But again, it's nothing major, and I'm okay with this, because it's faster. I don't know, anything that saves you some time in this game, when you get into it, it's a good thing. Okay. I've probably missed a couple of things here. I'm not going to go too much into the cars and the new stuff where, you know, you're actually rebuilding and taking stuff off the cars right now. I think I've covered it all. I think we're good. So let me just go through the pie menu real quick. So this has changed. Before you had to go to the garage door, you know, in the old 2018 to do the find your location. Now you can pick it here. It's nice and cleaned. Yeah, looks okay. One thing that's a little bit annoying is the parking. This actually I think is going to drive people crazy, because now when you've got the parking, you've got an alley which you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars. Used to get 12 in it before. Anyway, doesn't matter. So you get the alley 1 free. Okay. I've purchased alley 2, 25,000. Alley 3, 50,000 now. Goodness me. But let me just show you something which kind of, it's a little bit annoying. First off the bat, when you click on this, you actually get the car coming up, which is great. Doesn't tell you the condition. So if you've got a lot of cars and you've got maybe more than one, let's say you've got 2 bolt capes or whatever, it's kind of difficult to see which one you want to pull back to the garage, because it doesn't give you the state of repair. Oh, sorry, let me just go back here again. So let's look at this, for example. I know this is knackered, this car. It's completely trashed, but it doesn't show me anything. It would be nice if it showed you actually the condition of the car. Not in the picture maybe, but just some more text here so you know which one to pull back. Now let me just show you when we actually go to the alley. Okay, so here you've got go to alley, you have to hold it, and there's a lot of this where you have to actually hold the key down for you to commit to what you actually want to do. And it's kind of useful, because sometimes if you want to buy the car or something, you don't want to just click it and then all of a sudden it's bought. So first off the bat, you can't pan around. This is it, right? This is it. So let's say I want to look at my bolt roulette, right? It's obviously in spot 8. I can show the car, I can move the car to my garage if I want to show it. So let's have a look at it, shall we? Are you coming out or what? Okay, here it is. Yeah, I've done this one up, it's quite nice. Yeah, okay, so yes, you get this, pressing C, and now you can kind of get the full beauty of the car that you've restored. Yeah, that's great. Can't do anything else. Okay. Go back, move it to the garage, or park the car. Well, how about I want to look at this one now, together. Like you used to be able to do in 2018. No, that one gets put back, and then you've got to wait for this one to come out. I mean, and wait. It's not like it's like, you know, instantaneous, is it? Yeah, great. Yeah. I think this is going to bother some people. It bothers me, especially, you know, if you're into this game in a big way and you love buying, you know, and getting loads of cars and doing them all up and all that. Anyway, yeah, let's get out of here. Exit to the garage. Escape and hold. There you go. Back in the garage. So yeah, the other thing is that, you know, with having that, you can't see all the cars together, which you used to be able to. Which I think was nice. I don't know why they've done it this way. For me, it doesn't really. It's taken some of the value away by introducing that. But you know, I guess beggars can't be choosers, as they say. Oh, by the way, you can't use the bathroom. Unfortunate that is. Goodness me. Anyway, I digress. Battery charger. I think I've actually might have a battery on there. Same as it always was. Yeah, you put it on there and you. I'll go actually do a quick video. Maybe today, probably tomorrow. See if I can get it out on money making tips, because I've learned a few things about making some decent coin in this game quite easily. Okay, the workshop. This is. I guess this is the main workshop, I guess, or I don't know. But this is where you're going to fix parts and yeah, also leads you to the warehouse. Warehouse is pretty standard as it always was, but now you've got to actually open the doors and walk in. Before you didn't. It was just like a shutter in front. Very similar to, this is all my current inventory that's not in the warehouse, and then you click over here. And obviously you can sort and all that stuff, and here's warehouse number 1. Here you would click on this one and that shows you what's in warehouse 1. Now it took a little bit of working out, but you can also use tab apparently. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got 8 warehouses, so to get to the warehouse, and this threw me a little bit, you can't get to another warehouse when you're in your normal inventory, but when you go into the warehouse, then you click on the warehouse, then you can pick the other warehouse. Now 2018 I really liked, you used to be able to rename the warehouses, which was great, because you know I had car parts in one and body parts in another, which I've still got, you know, 2 warehouses in use right now. Warehouse 1 is body parts, right? But when I start to fill up warehouses 3, 4 and 5 maybe, I'm going to have to remember what's in each one. Before you could actually call it, you know, engine parts, body parts, you could rename it. I don't think you can now. No, you can change warehouse, but you can't rename it. Again, another little thing. I don't know why they took that away. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's a little bit annoying. Okay, so what's new in here? Quite a few things. We have more repair benches for parts than seriously you will ever need in your entire life as a mechanic. We have 3 so far. And let's just throw in 1 more for good measure, which I understand for some of it, because when you're doing, this is new actually, by the way, this is where you can actually repair the brake discs or reskim them, whatever. If you're reskimming a brake disc here, then yeah, fine, you know, you might want to repair some of your parts over here whilst you're waiting for the skimming to be done. Okay, so that's new, as in we've got many more work. I wonder if they're going to make it multiplayer at some point. That's when they've done it. Wouldn't that be cool? Ah. Wow, that would be great. Anyway, so the brake lathe, what you can do here is you can add a brake disc in. So you see ventilated 38%. I'm not sure what the threshold is on when it won't allow you to repair it. You know, sometimes it used to be 10% or whatever it was. I'm not exactly sure, to be fair, what it is for some of the parts, either to have them repaired. Either way, you get a lot of nice sparks flying off here, which is great. It does take a few seconds, you know, but I guess that's okay. You can save. I mean, I don't even know what is a brake disc. You know, you're going to save yourself 100 bucks or 100 credits, which, yeah, you know, you're starting off in this game, it's worth saving. But you've got to unlock the workshop first. Bear in mind, this workshop is locked when you first start. So then we take it off, and you know, Bob's your uncle, kind of thing. Here we have the engine stand. It's now yellow and not red. So what else has changed? We have these repair table body, and another one over here with repair table body. They all do the same thing, as far as I'm aware, unless somebody can tell me different. If I click on this one, it shows me the parts that I can repair here. Totally different machine, but not. Table. You see, so this is just for the look and feel of it, I guess. Mind you, like I said, maybe it's going to be multiplayer. Either way. So what's changed, the most radical change in the fixing of body parts and parts themselves, is this kind of skill that you have to play a game with. I didn't like it when I did the first review on the demo, but I've actually got quite used to it, and it's actually not bad. Because before it just seemed to be like hit and miss, depending on, of course, on your skill level of how good you were at repairing stuff. Which, let me just pull this up actually. Let me just go to the toolbox and show you. So you still got this, and I think this is fine. Your ability to fix parts from group 1 is increased by 2%. Ability to fix parts from group 2 increased by 3%. 3, 5%, and then it goes up again, group 4, group 5, and then ability to fix increased, yeah, all body parts. So they've placed body parts into different categories. So when you're at the first level and you open up the workshop here, when you I can't remember what level this opens up at, but it opens up at some point on the, just give me a sec, I'm just going to go back over here. It opens up at some point, I don't remember where. Okay, it's not important. It opens up when you've got enough, when you've got your level and you've got to buy the upgraded garage. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that when you come to fix your parts, when you first start out, you can only fix specific parts, but it will tell you the parts you cannot fix yet, which I think is fair. You know, as you gain ability in the real world and skills, you can fix more parts. Okay, without further ado, this is what's changed. So here you have to click on this start repairing, and then you basically have to hit either on a grey, which means you get another chance at doing it, or you hit on the green. The higher up you, I don't know if this speeds up or slows down. I think it does. I think you get more greens and stuff in there the higher up the skill you have for repairing stuff. And basically, yeah, okay, that is not a great start. So now it's more difficult because now I've got to red at this end, and it's pretty fast. Okay, so now it's a success. I'm going to do it again because it says here current is 39%. On success you'll get to 65. If you fail, you're going to go down to 19%. So here we go. Okay, so now this was kind of annoyed me a little bit in the demo because you've got to do a lot of repairing. But it's actually quite fun. It's actually quite fun because you do want, you know, especially the big ticket items like this engine head. You know, I really want to repair this because it's worth a lot of money. So I pay particular attention and get it repaired. You know, I don't know. It's kind of okay. I think it would be maybe also okay if you could opt out of this at some point, like I mentioned in the review on when I did the demo. But either way, it's actually okay. It's quite fun. Excuse me. And the next one, of course, is the repair table for body parts. Again, you can only repair specific body parts, and I think you can't still repair. I'm not sure. I don't think you can repair lights and windows. But they've stuck to that. You see, this is going pretty fast because it's pretty damaged, 17%. So here we go, success, great. But I've still got to repair it a little bit more because it's still badly damaged. And there we go, 100% repaired. So, you know, it doesn't take too long. Bit of fun as well. And for those of you that like repairing the parts, then, you know, a little bit of a added bonus in the game. I've got used to it now. Anything else of note over here? I don't think so. I think we're good. So if I leave by this door, I basically get to the rest of the garage outside. You can also leave by this other door, which takes you into the main workshop over here somewhere. I love the detailing. Love it. But I talked about this in the review I did on the demo, so let's not go into that. So yeah, bish bash bosh, we're back in here. Now what I will show you is, I haven't got a car, I don't think I can move into the different areas, but anyway, never mind. Spray booth. Quite a few changes here. Not in terms of the layout or anything, but when you actually come to spray a car, I guess I actually should have a car, shouldn't I? I mean, that would make sense to have a car that I can actually respray. Okay, let me go and grab a car, and I'll be right back. And with the magic of video editing, here we have, ladies and gentlemen, the, what is it, a Lenti Calop? I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, this is a little project I worked on. Beautiful little car. My silver bullet. Anyway, what I was going to say was, when you are ready to paint, a couple of things have been added here. For starters, there's different paint shop levels now, which there didn't used to be. So, for example, when you come over here, you see up at the top up here you've got basic colour, which is the normal colours. Before you could just dial in the number and you could make it have a very specific colour in mind, especially with matching body parts. If you don't know how to match body parts to a colour using the dial-in numbers, I can do a short video, or I can point you to the 2018 videos, which was exactly the same. Anyway, so here you can change the, yeah, it's, well, look what it does. You can change the clear coat value. Yeah, for me, I'm not big into the whole paint scene anyway, to be fair. I mean, you know, roughness of the paint itself, fine. Metalness, I mean, the metalness Is that even a word? And it doesn't matter. So you have to actually upgrade the paint booth, I believe, to get this one. It's the same with, this is where you can actually dial in the different numbers, the hue, the saturation, the brightness, and these become available as and when you buy the upgrades to the spray booth. So on the first effort, when you've got the spray booth, fine, you've bought it, you've unlocked it, and you can just do the basic colour matching up here, or sorry, the colour painting up here. In addition to that, you've got the livery. I don't know why that hue is added over here as well. I don't know. Anyway, then you've got the different liveries. You can add on if the car's got it. You can add, as you can see here, decals and all that stuff, and the paint type you can change to metallic and chameleon and all that. Same as it was last time. It costs you 1,000 to actually spray paint the car, and it adds no money to the value of the car at all, just so you know. It adds nada, nothing. Same as it was in 2018. But it's still fun, yeah. The other thing that's changed, which I'm not going to showcase here, I need to do a proper video on it, but you can see that you used to be able to spray parts before. I haven't got a part to paint, obviously, because I've got the car in here. But you could actually spray parts. Well, what they've done, which I only found out actually, I think last week it was, there's a whole host of engine parts that you can spray. Now, I'm pretty sure that was not in 2018. So your air filter, for example, you can spray your air filter like yellow, or your engine block, you can spray it bright pink or whatever takes your fancy. For modding, as in making a very specific car and really taking it to town, I think that's actually a nice touch. I think it's 100 credits for each body part. So if you're doing wing mirrors, for example, or you make sure, let's say you're just doing, I don't know, air filters or wheel trims, whatever, it can get quite expensive if it's 100 credits for every pop. Anyway, enough about the spray booth. There is one little thing next door here, which was also in the demo, but it serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever apart from looking very nice. Wasted space, maybe, you might add. I don't know why it's so blurry. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move this now to the car wash. I'm not going to give too much away about this car wash because I've got a little video planned for this car wash on making some extra money. Now, this is a bit of a letdown, to be fair. A lot of the cars come in now, as you saw with the Volvo, they are completely dusty. They're really, really, dirty from the scrapyard, the junkyard, whatever. Even the customer cars that come in, a lot of the times they're dirty. So you can just clean them. It's free. You can just say yes. But look at the cleaning. What's all that about? What is all that about? It looks like a freaking cappuccino. Anyway, enough said. That's the way it is. It's free. Doesn't add any value or anything like that. And then of course you've got the interior detailing kit, which used to, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure somebody will correct me, either 100 credits or 200 credits to actually use the detailing kit. Now it's free, and then it just does the inside of the car. You know what? They could have done a bit better job than that. They really could. That's not good. Anyway, let's move this now over to the not quite the final area, but let's at least, the dyno is pretty much the same. So I don't really want to go into the dyno stage of it. Oh, go on, I will. Let's just go in real quick. Dyno, same thing, right? Big screen, different room. Yeah, all really nice. Yeah, there's your toolbox. You can just start the dyno, which I'm not going to, or you come over to the computer, and if you've got a custom gearbox, you can change all the gear ratios on the gearbox, depending on where you want your top end and your bottom end and your revs and all that. So nothing new there, nothing to report home about. It's exactly the same. A little bit slower actually than the old dyno used to be. Let us now move to where there's some other changes, which is the test path. I think this is actually, I'm not sure if some of it's cool or some of it's just a waste of time. So the test path is the same as it always used to be, apart from now you can fall down the hole. You couldn't do that before. Anyway, that motion blur, I should have turned that off. It's a little bit annoying, isn't it? Well, it's not even on high graphic settings. Anyway, without further ado, what you can do now is you can have wheel alignment. Now, I thought this was a lot of rubbish, but it's not. Because when you take it on the speed track, you want these wheels to be perfectly aligned, and basically all you have to do is left and right. You can use A and D, or you can use your clickers over here, And trust me, if you take this car out with wheels looking like that, it does not go in a straight line, which is good. Yeah, so it's actually, and I didn't think this would add that much value. It doesn't add any value to the car, but it certainly does when you're doing a speed test, because you want your wheels, running in a kind of straight line. That's the idea of a car, sort of thing. Keep it all nice and tracked. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's actually had a nice dimension to the game. In saying that, however, this headlight alignment, which is the same pretty much of WSAD, to move stuff around, and when you've got it all aligned, you get this little align tick here. It's quite forgiving. You can move it a fair bit so it stays in range, but quite honestly, I do not see the point in this. Who cares? You don't have to do it. It doesn't add any value to the vehicle, so you can just ignore it. And I suggest you play around with it a couple of times, and then you'll realise it's a waste of time and doesn't really give you any value whatsoever. Okay, so that's all that done. I think that's covered all of the outside. I believe, yes, we've got everything covered. So it's actually, nice to be able to walk out here. Great if you could park the cars out here as well. I said that in the demo though, didn't I, as well? Anyway, either way, here we are back in the main garage. I don't think there's anything right now that I've missed of the major changes. Someone's going to say something, I'm sure, if anybody was ever to leave a comment on any of my videos, which they never do. Anyway, other change they've done is with the welder. If we just move this over to the old Volvo, they've added some graphics to this, which it's okay. It looks pretty. Are you sure you're going to repair it? Yes, it's 500. No worries, my friend. I think it used to be 1,000, didn't it, in 2018? So some nice sparks. It's okay. It's not too crazy. I think it has a little nice touch to it. Now, when it comes to the engine itself and all the stuff you're actually rebuilding on the car, there's a couple of changes. One of the changes, which I think is probably one of the most annoying changes, is this. Well, you'll see here. You see this colour of this nut here is orange. Yeah, you have to loosen it up. You have to right-click to loosen it up, because if you try and, it ain't going anywhere. Look, not going anywhere. So you got to do this with your trusty. You can't, and you actually can't spray it. If it's not rusty, you can't spray it. It's not WD-40, it is DW04, and you've got to do that for all the nuts on which are rusty on cars. I get it, right? Real world. Yes, I have repaired many shitty old cars in my time, and yes, you have got to use some sort of impregnation, penetration spray. I think that was probably the wrong word I just used then, but anyway, it's so that it can loosen them up if it's WD-40 or it's more of a high whiz penetrating fluid or whatever. Yeah, but come on, this is a game, and there's a lot of rusty old bolts on these cars that you get from the junkyards. It just, I don't know, nice touch, but nah, it gets a little bit annoying. Anyway, onto the other wonderful update that we have here is all to do with fluids. And no, we're not talking bodily fluids, we are talking fluids on the car. So if we just pull a car back from the alleyway real quick, it doesn't take too long. Let's go into parking, let's pull back the bolt. This is fine. Let's just get that in the garage. By the way, when you do this, move the cars from the alley to the garage, it doesn't appear in here. It actually is like, where the hell's my car gone? It's out here. Oh, this is a project. I'll go into this in some more detail another time. But let me just move this onto the lifter for now, and then you can see. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. You see now you can swap the cars. I don't know. I think you could do that in 2018. So if it's busy with a Volvo like it is now, you can swap them over. Also, which I think is another good thing, which I forgot to mention. When you're moving, let's say the oil drain, and you want to move it to whichever ramp, okay, car lifter. Oh, that's because they're not up on the ramp. Let me just show you quickly with the with this here. So if I move this to the ramp, it tells me which car is on which ramp, which is nice. It didn't used to do that in 2018. Anyway, let's put that back and it'll be nice and tidy. Okay, let me just take this up one notch, and I want to just show you the fluids in the vehicles. Again, it's a nice touch, but you know, it used to take some time to rebuild the engines on any vehicle, you know, with all the spark plugs and the camshafts and everything else, and that was fine. Now they've got all the fluids to put in, right? So just hear me out here. It's a bit of a rant, and I've got used to it now. First thing is, we've got the power steering reservoir, right? That's okay. New, yes. Then we have the... Are you keeping track here? So that's one. Windshield washer reservoir. Coolant reserve, right? Oil is going to be in there as well, don't forget, right? And then you've got brake fluid over here. Now, all of these are full, obviously, but let me just go through real quick, because some people I've seen on YouTube and read in the comments on Steam and Reddit that people have got some difficulties messing around with these. But let's just go through the basics. If it's full, right, or even not full, but it needs to be drained, you have a new tool, okay? I think it's the only new tool that we actually have, and that's the drain tool. Looks like a big syringe. And then you basically click on that, and then you hold down, and then it will suck out all of the liquid that's in that particular vessel, right? And that means, so when you get a job where it says drain it, that's what you've got to do. Even if it looks like it's nearly empty, you've still got to do it, okay? So it's exactly the same with, not with engine oil. Engine oil is still on the drain, as in the oil drain. You can't do that doing it this way. So you're going to do this one, this one, this one, and the brake fluid at the back. Now, just a point to note here, actually I learned this probably not the hard way, but certainly let's just drain this one. Okay, now I'm going to fill them back up. Now, to fill them back up, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's just like what you used to do with the oil. You just basically, let's just go on to, oops, sorry, there we go. Take off the cap, and you immediately get, this is a nice touch. I like the detailing on the cans they've done. Absolutely spot on. That looks really cool. Same thing as usual. Now this one can fool you because it looks like it's filling up, but it's actually just getting stuck to the sides, and then you see it starting to fill up. Remember the magic rule? When it tips like this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it should be full. Anyway, that's it. Pretty straightforward. Just watch out that when it goes down the side here, I thought it was full, and the customer wouldn't accept the car. We're just going to fill this one back up real quick, just to show you. I mean, it's, yeah, the liquid effect is good when it's going in, but not that great when it's actually sitting in the vessel. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we should be good. Okay, so that's all new stuff. All this draining of the fluids, which it's okay, but we've just got now coolant. And bear in mind, if there's not a coolant vessel here, like there is on this one, reservoir here, then you actually have to take the top off the radiator on some vehicles. Oh, there's one of the parts I painted earlier. Can you see that on the this? I've actually painted the air filter base blue, just to have a, you know, show and tell basically. Anyway, so that's your fluids. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the oil. Great. What else is new? We have ECUs now, which are just basically a bolt-on computer, and I think there's 2 or 3 different types you can get in the electrical store up here. So if you look at this wonderful ECU, I'm actually going to show you a little tip on finding the parts a lot quicker. Let me just show you something here. Let's just get rid of that ECU. This is the new shopping list. So let's say I need an ECU. Let's say this is broken. Okay, so I'll go in. It's broken. Press X, adds it to the shopping list. Great. Go to the shop. Okay, it's obviously there already, but let me show you this. Tab, shopping list comes up. ECU Type A. Click on that. Bang, straight there. That's nice. That's really quick. Really quick. And you can delete them as and when you bought them. So you can take them off your shopping list. That's brilliant. I love it. One thing to watch out for when you're in the shop, if you're not in the electronic part and you press tab and you want to find the ECU, it will not take you there because you're in the wrong store, just so you know. Isn't that great? X to put it in, go to the computer, tab, bring your shopping list up, and then it will take you to any part that you have in the shopping list. That is amazing. One thing I would love to see is, as you get the different skills, and let's say you've repaired an engine or a specific car, that you actually get a pre-built shopping list, if you like. So if I've just rebuilt this engine is, I don't know what it is, a V6, V8, something or other. I'll go through this shortly. So we've got a V8 dual overhead cam. no, this is the SO8C FME. So once I've rebuilt an engine like that, I think what would be great in the game is if you get the blueprint for it. So then, if you want to build a new one, another one, you don't have to go and buy all the parts all the time. You have to buy the parts, obviously, but you can just say, maybe there's an option, buy me all the parts to build this engine, then you don't have to keep going back. You know, once you've done it once, twice, three, four, 5 times, you know, you should know it by then, shouldn't you? Anyway, another addition. Oops, sorry, another addition. So bear in mind, I'm still on the same track here. We have all the coolants you need to fill up, which is now 4 different coolants, because you didn't have to do brake fluid on 2018. Now you do, so that's 4. ECU, that's no big deal. But now, this is a bit of a... I love this. I love it. It looks great. You have fuses, okay? A fuse box and all different fuses in here. And you just take each individual one out and you replace them from the electronics store. If you're buying another car, right, there's not got a fuse box, because you know the scrap cars, they're always missing the alternator, generally, the starter motor, and I guarantee now they're going to be missing the battery and these fuses. So it's a bit more, you know, it's another thing you've got to take care of. It's something else you've got to put on the car, and I think that's a common theme what they've done in this 2021 release. They've tried to make it a bit more realistic in terms of what you actually have to fix on a car, and it also brings into account the troubleshooting, because don't forget, if you've got a car that comes in that won't start, that you bought from the scrapyard or wherever, now you're going to have to check the fuse box, as I found out the other day, because I'm not used to checking the fuse box. So I can see it's a nice touch, but all said and done, it's still more and more little things that you've got to put into the car. I don't know, it just takes a lot longer, but it's also a nice benefit, I guess, that it looks more detailed and all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me ranting and raving. Anyway, one thing I do want to show real quick is, I said the pie menu is pretty much the same as it used to be. It is, very much so. However, this is different. So this is the car details. This is really, really nice. Here you've got the factory power as you did before, the measured power once you've had it on the dyno, if there's any tuning that's been taken care of, as in you've got additional tuning parts on there, which is always nice. The car information itself, this is really, really nice. I'm so happy they put this in. It gives you the tyre size, factory tyre size, so you know exactly what tyre. If you want to do a proper rebuild and put it back to the way it was when it was bought, you can now put in you can actually get the correct tyre size and the rim. Isn't that great? And the colours that it's available, or you should be able to paint it in if you want to bring it back to its original condition. Obviously current factory colour and all that is the same. The rest of it is pretty much standard, I think. I'm not sure if weight was in there before. Nice to have the year as well now, 1996. They only had that on a couple of cars, I think, in 2018. So that's really, I love that. This factory, the tyre size and the rim type is just brilliant. So thank you very much. Yeah, don't need to go into that. Swap options are here. Again, it would be nice if you could click on these and it would give you maybe the horsepower, because if you don't know the horsepower of the engine, you actually got to go over to the engine stand to add an engine and then look and see, or scroll through the engine to see how much horsepower it's going to be. I can go through that briefly just to show you how, but I'm sure most of you know that. This is great too. Now all the parts that you've got, 12 pages of different parts giving you all the conditions, which it used to before, but it's so much more intuitive now. You can just click here, or you can use the Q and E keys. You can just go straight through to the end page to find out the bits that are missing. Fusebox cover, of course, because I've just taken it off. So that's really nice. It's really, really, in your face, nice and clear. Love it. The other benefit here is the credits. This I really, really like. For those of you that treated the 2018 as a real garage, and you would often, certainly me, I would make up some cover stories for the actual car I was bringing in. If you watched any of my other videos on the Land Rovers and stuff, Farmer Palm and all that good stuff, makes it more fun, especially when you're doing videos as well. It makes it so much more entertaining, in my opinion. It gives you here the full parts value of the vehicle, the body value, performance, if I've got any performance parts on there, the condition bonus, the buy price. This is great. The buy price. How much did it cost when I bought it, and how much profit have I actually made on the vehicle. Now bear in mind, this is profit on the sale of the vehicle, so it doesn't consider all the parts that you have purchased to actually get it to where it is and all the work you put in. So it's saying 60,000 based on your buy price, but if I've spent 100,000 on getting it to this position, it doesn't consider any of the parts whatsoever. You've got the parts value up here. Okay, yeah, that's actually a fair point. parts value, but hang on, I don't know if that is that the cost price or the retail price, or what it as you I don't know. You know what? I need to look into that, see how those figures stack up. Either way, it's 60,000 profit for this particular car, which is very, very nice indeed. I'll have to probably get rid of it at some point. I don't think there's anything else in that that's new. I could be wrong. Maybe they've added something that wasn't there before, but maybe I've just taken it for granted. I'm not quite sure. Okay, either way. Couple more things. I did say that I would just show you about the engine swap. So if you are doing an engine swap, well, let me just go back to the car just to do the whole thing properly. Okay, so here we have blah 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 blah. Here we have this. We go into here. We say okay. Let's say I want to put the AXK in. Okay, current horsepower 222, and I want to put the AXK. So the only way I know, and somebody can tell me difference here, is when you go over to the engine stand, you go to create a new engine, and then you have to find the engine down here. And this is the only time you get to see what power you're going to be putting into the car based on the engine that you choose, and if it's compatible, of course, because it's got to be, you know, you can't put any one of these engines in. There's only 2 engines it'll take, which again, I would love for them to have let us, you know, do a bish bash bosh and put loads of different engines in the vehicles. I mean, to be fair, I know it's a bit more work, but you can mod a car by putting a different engine in than it's supposed to have. Anyway, you'd find the correct one here, whichever one it was, the AKX or whatever it was, not the AK, and then you'd figure out if that is more powerful than the one you've got in by the, you know, the factory power up here, and then you decide if you want to build that engine, and you stick it on the stand and all that. Anyway, that's the only way I know of finding out the horsepower of the engine before you build it. Someone may prove me wrong in the comments. Okay, a couple more things to go through, and then I'll be signing off. So let's just real quick. I'd like to do the speed track real quick. Pick a car. Yes, I would like to pick a car. I'm going to take this bad boy because I've taken. This is the only one that's running right now because the other one's not got a Fusebox. This is new. Before it was the drag strip, if you remember. They had the drag strip in 2018, which in my opinion was way too short because you couldn't get the car up to its top maximum speed. I know they had the ring track, the speed tracker, didn't they, if I'm not mistaken? Like the racetrack. Maybe I'm wrong, doesn't matter. This one is great because you've got loads of space. It's an old abandoned airfield, like the airfield used to be, but it's longer, much longer. So yeah, you can do the panoramic views and everything. It goes on for some time. Maybe did I straighten the wheels out on this car? Anyway, you get the idea. It's actually quite nice, and there's actually some really nice detailing on the track. Oh, let's just go for a quick fly. Yep, thank you. Okay, so what I'll just show you real quick is what's new. Is they have some nice aircraft hangars over here. My goodness, it's loud. And yeah, abandoned airfield, a bit more, you know, realistic than the one I had previously. Anyway, let's return to garage. I've got a couple more things to show, and then I'm going to be signing off. I've already running this for a long time, so let's just get this back in the garage, and then we can crack on. So I think most of what you've seen so far is very familiar. Yeah, I mean you've seen the different changes that they've put into it, but it's all very familiar. Okay, one last thing what we will do is we'll just have a quick look at the car auctions. Oh, junkyard, I'm not going to do in this video, but the junkyard is changed. Its layout is changed. It's bigger, or it seems bigger, but other than that it's pretty the same. You can't now click on cars to get parts. You have to go to the big parts piles. But either way, yeah. So junkyard we're not doing. Car auctions is what we're going to do. 200 credits to go. I don't know how it's 200 credits. That was $200. Like, it must be quite some way away. I mean, $200 for me would get me to, you know, well, it'd get me a fair way. So it's quite a long way to travel to the car auctions. It's kind of the same-ish, but it's different in some respects as well. If you go to this car auction here, these are the ones that are in pretty good condition, and then you can basically pick the car and then you can start the auction, but you get to look at it in a lot more detail first. So this is really coming into its own now, because that was something we were missing before. Sometimes you couldn't even see all the stars on 2018 if the the HUD was up. You couldn't see the screen itself at the back that it was displayed upon. But let me give you a decent idea. So let's say we were interested in this Del Rey Custom, right? So we click on it, and this is what it takes. Some time. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not running the fastest PC, but I'm sure it will take just as long on yours. I think it's something to do with the, I don't know, getting the graphics imagery ready. I know it doesn't normally take this long. Has it crashed? Oh, here we go. So this is a good bit, and this is also one of the other changes I wanted to showcase to you as well. So you can pick up the details of the car pretty much as you could, you know, on one of your own cars. Yeah, which is all good. You can see the parts basically of the ones that you can actually see, because I think my skill now I can pick up things that obviously the condition, obviously brake drums and stuff I can't see, brake calipers, so you get a pretty good idea. The important thing I think to notice here is that you don't know any of the condition here, okay, but it's saying it's a 3 or 4 star, I think it was. But what you can now do is you can actually do an inspection. It's just slightly different than it used to be. Now it goes through all the different parts one by one, so there's 17 parts on the engine that you can actually take a look at. Obviously you can't, you know, interrogate cylinder pistons, and piston rings, because you just can't get to those. You can do the same with the suspension. You can do the same with the suspension. So it gives you a pretty good idea all round of, you know, stuff you can, you know, shake and feel as you would if you're going to buy the car. Obviously brakes are not coming into there because it's not that easy to look at the brakes unless you're driving it, to be fair. So now when you go into the details of the car now, you can see that this should now have increased a lot of the things that you couldn't see before. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I thought I was right there. Is that a bug? Oh no, it did. Okay, yeah, it did. There we go. So now you can get a really good idea of what you're actually paying for. You know, especially if you want to repair parts on it, you want parts to be in a reasonable condition before you buy it. So that's actually a nice touch. I like that. If you wanted to buy it, you would then go up here and then press the space bar to start the auction, and then it's the same old rubbish that it was last time. We have to keep bidding. You never seem to get a decent value, and now I've got the estimated value because I think that's one of the skills you can unlock. It's worth 31,000 as an estimate. We'll do a full video on the car auctions another time. Okay, so that's the first side of the car auction. But if now you go back, because you remember there was 2 car auctions, now you can actually go with salvage cars, which are in much worse state of repair, but I like it. I like the fact that you can do exactly the same thing. Yeah, I mean seriously, you can click on this one and say yeah, this one looks like a great car. I think it was 2 stars out of 4 or 5 or whatever it was. Let's see, it was looked much quicker the second time around. You see, now you actually get to, as if it was at the scrapyard, and you can see it's only got 3 wheels, maybe even 2. Was it 3? Okay, you can do the same thing here. You can click on it and you can actually examine some of the engine parts. Anyway, you get the idea. And then you can, overall condition. This is the DLC pack, just in case you were wondering why I've got a Nissan Fairlady Z S30. You know, actually I would love to buy this. I think maybe I should buy it. I've been after one of these for a while. They don't come up that often, but it's an auction. I won't go through that now with you guys. I'm sure it'll be here again. So you can pick any one you want. This is the mod. This is, maybe that's why it's taking a bit longer. Well, this doesn't have too many wheels on, does it? But look at all that looks all pretty new under there. Once again, you know, you can do the whole kit and caboodle and go through and look at the value of the car. Look at the parts, conditions, and then if you wanted to, you just press a space bar and you start the auction, and then hopefully you'd win, and then you take it home with you. Okay, I'm just going to go back now to the garage. So I hope that gave you a good insight into the auctions. The only downside is, again, it's the whole bidding process. It's a bit cheap, it's a bit tacky, it doesn't kind of, you know, it's just like 2018, didn't work that well then. You know, it's just kind of luck of the draw if you ask me. Either way, I love the fact that you can really go, as you would in a real car auction, really go and examine the car before you even take a sniff at buying it. So here we are back at the garage, and guys, I've ranted on for such a long time. I really hope that you guys stayed around to the end and picked out some of the good parts and the bad parts. And if you've got any comments, leave them down below. I mean, it would be great if I got some interaction on some of these videos. Just so we can have a bit of a chin wag. If you'd like to see me going back to basics on the zero level, starting out with nothing at all and 4,000 credits in the bank, then let me know. I don't mind doing that at all. I quite enjoyed, building up to where I am now. It was quite a lot of fun. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. My final recommendation would be, if you like 2018, if you had it, or 2015, this is a good buy. You've seen what it can do. There's some things that are a bit lackluster. I'm really looking forward to more cars being available in the DLC packs, which I'm sure they're going to release. I know we might have to spend a bit of money on it, but you can't get everything for free. I'm really looking forward to that. The cars that are out there right now that are not modded cars and in the DLCs are a little bit weak. I'd like to get those as well at some point. The mods are great. I mean, I play this game because of the mods, to be fair. It's got some great modded cars in it. But yeah, I think it's worth the value for money. You can see the amount of effort they've put into this and what they've revamped. Yeah, some things are the same, some things are, a little bit different, but there's a lot of content that you didn't have before, and I think there's a lot to build on, especially if they made it multiplayer. Anyway, guys, look, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, just leave a comment or do whatever. And thanks. Jack's out.